issued by California Governor Gavin Newsom on March 12, 2020. Any or all board members may attend the meeting by phone. Members of the public may attend at the Fairfield-Sassoon Central Office, 2490 Hilborn Road, Fairfield, California, to observe and provide public comment during the meeting. Board members will state their name when they make the motion and when they make the second. All votes will be recorded via roll call format. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Superintendent Corey, could we please have the report of action taken in closed session?
Thank you, President Honeychurch. In the matter of conference with labor negotiators, no action was taken. In the matter of public employment, it is my pleasure to announce that by unanimous vote, the board officially appointed Bless Tabell as the occupational therapist effective immediately. I'm going to read a little bit about Bless. Ms. Bless Tabell is recommended for the occupational therapist within FSUSD and will provide support to staff and direct services to students with sensory motor deficits that impede learning. Specific responsibilities include completing educationally related assessments, developing treatment plans with goals, appropriate referrals, and providing training and consultation to special education staff and parents. Ms. Tabell joins FSUSD from Elk Grove Unified, where she has served as an occupational therapist since 2016. She earned her Bachelor's of Science degree in Human Development from the University of California, Davis, and her Master's of Science degree in Occupational Therapy from the University of Southern California. It is my pleasure to welcome Ms. Bless Tabell into this position, and we're so grateful to have her come and join this amazing team and share her talents with us all. Congratulations. It's also my pleasure to announce that by unanimous vote, the board has officially appointed Sean Kiley as a mental health clinician effective immediately. I'm going to take a few moments to talk a little bit about Sean. Sean Kiley is recommended for mental health clinician and will provide behavior management services, including counseling, supervision, crisis intervention, consultation, and outreach to our special education and general education students. He joins FSUSD from Stanislaus County Office of Education, where he has served as a mental health clinician since 2016. Before working with Stanislaus County, Mr. Kiley served as a mental health clinician too with the Juvenile Justice Division of the Stanislaus County Behavioral Health and Recovery Services for 21 years. He has demonstrated the passion for mitigating mental health issues and establishing a sense of hope and direction with high-risk kids. Mr. Sean Kiley, earned his Bachelor of Science degree in Political Science from UC San Diego and his Master's of Science degree in Marriage, Family, and Child Counseling from Fresno State University. We're so thrilled to have him join our team. I had the opportunity to meet with him, and I think now more than ever, we need someone with his expertise in Fairfield-Sassoon. So congratulations and welcome to Fairfield-Sassoon. And then no other action was taken in closed session.
Thank you, Superintendent Corey. We'll move on to communication. 4A, recognition. I will turn it over to Superintendent Corey to recognize Renee Wheatley for her 41 years of service to the FSUSD community.
And I believe Renee is on our meeting today. I just want to tell you how important it was for us to recognize Miss Renee Wheatley. She is currently serving as the Personnel Specialist 2 in Human Resources, until tomorrow, and she's retiring after 41 years of serving our students in Fairfield Sassoon. Renee was hired on August 1st, 1979, which was a Wednesday. Jimmy Carter was president. Gas was 86 cents a gallon, but a Sony Walkman cost $200. Renee could have purchased a Toyota Corolla for $3,600 at the time. She probably wore a pantsuit or a big bow shirt to work and worked for someone sporting a blazer, a vest, and slacks. Think Saturday Night Fever, folks. On her original application, she noted that she could type 50 words a minute, was proficient in using a calculator and an adding machine, and held the additional skill and knowledge about a stencil duplicator and a stencil imager. Renee was made in FSUSD, having been born in Fairfield, California. She attended K through 3 at Bransford Elementary. And for those of you who knew, Mr. Tom Chalk was her principal. In 4th and 5th grade, she attended a 2-room school called Bird's Landing, currently where the Bird Sanctuary is located now. She moved to Travis Unified for 6th through 8th grade, attending Golden West, and she graduated from Vanden High School. Following her graduation, she came back home to Fairfield Sassoon, and she began her career as a typist clerk and quickly became an account clerk too. 27 years ago, she began working in the Human Resources Department. Words to describe Renee throughout the years: professional, intelligent, reliable, poised, loyal, dedicated, detail-oriented, helpful. During her tenure in Fairfield Sassoon, the superintendency changed 12 times. She's been witness to 17 new schools being added to the district and 1 school, Falls Elementary, closing for good. It's said that Renee has had to train 10 assistant superintendents. Now, we aren't certain if her retirement has anything having to do with training this last one. But in our research, we have found that Renee is one of only 6 people in the history of Fairfield Sassoon that has served the district for over 40 years. Renee Wheatley's dedication and contributions to the district will be so greatly missed. She's been the go-to person, reliable, knowledgeable, competent, no nonsense, yet very welcoming. We may be able to refill her position, but the experience, compassion, and commitment to the students of our district will be sorely missed. She's been an outstanding teammate in the Human Resources Department, and her colleagues have appreciated her guidance and her wealth of knowledge. She will be greatly missed. That is until we get her back as a substitute. Best wishes, Renee, on your retirement. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for your many, many years of serving this district and this community.
Well, thank you, Superintendent Corey. I really appreciate the recognition. It's been a wonderful adventure. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Renee. Enjoy your last day. And as I said, you may be gone, but you will never be forgotten.
Thank you.
Yay, Renee. We'll move on to B, employee organization reports. Do we have any organizations to report?
We do. I believe Nancy Dunn
I
is
see
on the-
Nancy. I see Nancy. Okay, I'll turn it over to Nancy Dunn. Nancy?
Thank you so much. That's a hard act to follow, but I'll try. So good evening, President Honeychurch, governing board members, Superintendent Corey, and community members. I am Nancy Dunn, President of Fairfield Sassoon Unified Teachers Association. So much has happened since I last addressed you just 2 weeks ago. We started school, paused school, restarted school. My members faced evacuations, unhealthy air quality, power outages during a heat wave, and started a new distance learning plan while in the midst of a pandemic. Sadly, 5 members also lost their homes or part of their property to the LNU complex fire. I want to thank the Human Resources and Payroll departments for their prompt and kind responses to my members who lost so much. It meant a lot to them and their colleagues to have reassurances that their paychecks would arrive uninterrupted, their leaves granted immediately, and responsibilities for their work duties taken off of their full plate. I believe it was an example of management and labor working well together during very difficult times. This year has been difficult, and we are just over 1 week into the academic year. Members contact me multiple times daily, sharing frustrations from unsettled schedules to changing understanding of procedures, technology disruptions, and new demands on their time take away from working with students. Morale is low. I know if SUDA members are not alone in feeling this way. Everyone in FSUSD is working hard, having good intentions, struggling to understand and implement new systems and ways of doing things. Folks are working really hard to get it right. Most importantly for my members, they are upset because they want to connect with our students and jumpstart learning. Again, during these difficult times, there are bright spots. Teachers have shared with me emails from parents anticipating re-engaging with school. Veteran teachers assuring their years teaching won't always look like and to hang in there. Honest discussions between management and labor identifying problems and looking together at solutions. I'm urging my members to be patient with themselves and others. I hope others will be patient with them. We all know it takes time and course corrections to get it right. As long as we acknowledge the problems and are working towards solutions, all will be okay. We have to make it okay or better because our students deserve nothing less. Labor Day is just about a week away. I have faith many course corrections will be in place when we return, making it easier to focus on students and their education. I think many of us are waiting to see if Solano County continues to record improving COVID numbers, or will we be experiencing another spike after the Labor Day weekend? A wise retired FSUDA member reminded me today, these are days to be the tortoise, not the hare. I hope you all stay safe and well. Remember to be the tortoise, and I thank you for your time and attention this evening.
Thank you, Nancy. Are there any other organization reports? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to our student superintendent. Chantel, do you have a report?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
And I'm happy to give you my job, Chantel.
I was gonna say, what kind of promotion?
I didn't realize. Student board member, sorry.
Okay, good evening, all. For my report, I've decided to talk about the start of school. School finally started last Wednesday, and in my classes at RMEO, I was able to meet my teachers and classmates. And in some of my classes, we've been having week of welcome lessons, as well as many icebreaker and interactive activities. I've also been able to meet those within my leadership class. And the ASB officers and I are currently discussing what our plans would be for this school year and how to foster relationships with those students. It's been a challenge to adjust as it is quite different from how school normally would be, but nevertheless, and I'm sure many of my classmates are looking forward to this year. And that's all for my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chantel. We'll now move on to the superintendent report. Superintendent Corey.
Thank you, President Honeychurch. I want to first mention that our hearts go out to the family and loved ones of Nathan Garza, who graduated from early college high school. He was a student who was tragically killed, and our district is really sharing in this heartbreak. We have many grieving staff members, students who share in mourning the loss of this bright young man. The first day of school was like no other. It will be one for the memory books for sure. We started our school in anticipation, knowing that we've been planning for it, different phases, different ways of how it would occur since we closed, or since the school year ended. And so on the first day, when we were confronted with fires, we thought we're just going to have to figure it out and go with it. By about 12:30 or 1 o'clock, we called it a day. And shortly thereafter, we closed school for the next 2 days while our community experienced evacuations, loss of homes, and had to work again once again to ensure that communication paths were opened. I just want to give a huge shout out once again to our firefighters, our police officers, and our emergency response team who worked so collaboratively with us. I also want to thank Clarence Isidore, Mike Swearingen, and Ken Risch for being responsible for the Rodriguez High School evacuation site. The evacuation centers, we always like to help, and we had some evacuation centers at Fairfield High. And then, of course, PG&E had to cut that power, so we had to work and move our sites to Armiel, which is going to be the overflow, and then Rodriguez High School. Unfortunately, the Red Cross was not available to support us. And so really it was, please use this, open your school site for evacuation. And by the way, we're not going to give you any support. And so Mike Swearingen, I know Mr. Isidore was there till I think midnight. And I think Mike Swearingen spent the entire night at Rodriguez High School. And then early the next morning, Ken Risch came to take his place. And so this is just one example of how our team always goes above and beyond to help our community and support those in need. So our second start, like Ms. Dunn said, it sputtered a little bit, but we got off the ground again this Monday. And I want to just give a huge thank you to all of our staff because this is new for everybody. The distance learning that we did in the spring is quite different than the distance learning that we're doing now here in the fall. And so we also wanted to note that in the spring, our teachers, our staff, our principals, our parents had the opportunity of having those relationships already built. And they had in-person instruction from the beginning of the school until March 13th. So routines were already in place and trust was already established. And so it's a little bit difficult and a little bit different to start out a school year in distance learning, not knowing these students and many not having any relationships with the families. As Ms. Dunn said, there have been glitches. We've had glitches with devices, taking attendance, finding our students, letting them know that school has started, helping our families get the materials and distributing the materials that they need. But also there have been a lot of kudos, and it just really warms our heart when a parent will reach out and say, despite all of this, we can't thank you enough for all that you're doing to try to educate our kids during this really tumultuous time. And so I think as was mentioned, we're all in this together. We're doing the best we can, and we will continue to move forward and improve, grow, and learn from this experience. And I tell people, similar to what Ms. Dunn said about being a tortoise, I said, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And it's going, and it's a huge marathon that will go on for quite some time. I also just want to acknowledge once again our child nutrition services, who has worked so diligently since the school closures to provide meals for our families and for our students. Summer seamless feeding stopped, which at that time, as you know, any student 18 years or older could come up and receive a meal. There are different regulations once school started. And so now what happens is that a student must show their ID in order to receive their meals for the week. And so we have a different distribution site every day, but they can come and receive a box that contains 10 meals. So they has menus included and different things like that. And just to put it into context, on Tuesday of this week, our child nutrition services delivered or distributed 986 boxes at Grange. That's 9,860 meals in one day. Yesterday, they distributed 863 boxes, which is 8,630 meals. It's very robust. And I just want to say how proud I am of them and their work. Today, I had a meeting with some of our neighboring districts who have found it really challenging to feed their students and actually are seeing a significant loss in revenue during this time and those reimbursable meals. And our child nutrition services has been very diligent in ensuring that our children are fed. And so I just wanted to thank the director, Dan Mitchell, and his team for doing that. We also, I believe I had the Family Resource Fair since the last time we met. Many of us were out at the Solano Town Center distributing backpacks and doing things a little differently as people drove through. It reminded me of my first job when I was a car hop and I was taking the orders of what kind of backpacks that they would get once they got to the backpack line. Overall, we distributed 1,400 backpacks and the Fairfield PD gave out 1,100 hot dogs. So thank you to Liz Tracy and the Family Resource Center and for all of the volunteers who came out to once again serve our community in this capacity. That ends my report.
Thank you, Superintendent Corey. We now move to public communication. This is the opportunity for the public to address items that are not on the board meeting agenda. Public comment is only permitted on matters within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. Do we have any public speakers?
We do. We have Anna Patero.
Okay, Anna Patero.
Oh, good evening, members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm all zoomed out, so I actually came here to the district office. So I think that now that we're in distance learning, I think it's so important that the board do your due diligence in holding this district accountable for what the website looks like, because a lot of people are getting their information directly from the website. And I have some issues here I'd like to talk to you about. Number one, when you go to the link which says parents of students with IEPs, that was last updated on March 31st. It says there that they're developing a plan. We're in August. Number two, the Google Classroom support for parents. It's a PowerPoint presentation. They're just slides. There are people in this community for whom English is a second language. It needs more explanation. We are a low context culture. People need clarity and they need clear context. Number three, distance learning guide for students and families. That link has no updates since May. The information that's still on there is from graduation 2020 that needs to be updated. Number four, the last coronavirus update was April 10, 2020. Number five, Fairfield Student Unified School District programs, instructional programs, all those links go to a page that has been moved, nothing there. The only thing that has links that works is the CSTEM links. And this is how I found out. I'm running for school board and I want to know a little bit more about the CTE programs. So I went there, I looked at the link that said CTE educational pathways. It goes nowhere. And then I looked at the 7 academies for thematic learning. That goes nowhere. I emailed the district and I got an email from Tim Gorey that says, oh, that's not a priority. That better be a priority. Finally, I would like this district or this board to be in support of educational equity by supporting AB 331. So I hope you're going to do your due diligence and lobby our state legislatures, primarily Tony Thurmond, to pass AB 331. And if you don't know what that is, you shouldn't be on the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving, do we have any other speakers?
There are no other speakers.
Thank you. The consent calendar, are there any items to be pulled from the consent calendar? Seeing none, any public comment on the consent calendar?
There's no public comment.
May I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Move approval, Bethany.
I had my mic off, sorry. Bethany, is there a second?
Jonathan.
Jonathan, thank you. Roll call, please.
Chantel Martino,
Aye.
Mrs. Gott,
Aye.
Mrs. Honeychurch,
Aye.
Mr. Isom, Mr. Isom. He's not here. Oh, Mr. Richardson,
Aye.
Mr. Silva,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion passes. We move on to action items 13A, review and potential approval of resolution number 06-2021, authorizing instruction to teach with a variable term waiver. There's no presentation. Any public comment?
There's no public comment.
Thank you. Any board discussion? May I have a
Move
motion to
approval, John
approve?
Move approval, Joan Gott.
Is there a second?
Second,
second.
Jonathan.
Okay, roll call, please.
Chantel Martino,
Aye.
Mrs. Gott,
Aye.
Mrs. Honeychurch,
Aye.
Mr. Isom is not, Mr. Richardson,
Aye.
Mr. Silva,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Going on to B, review and potential approval of Resolution 05-2021, authorizing employment on a provisional internship permit. No presentation. Any public comment? Seeing
There's
no
no public comment.
Seeing no public comment, may I have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Is there a second? John, are you seconding?
I'll second. John
Thank
Silva.
you. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Chantel Martino,
Aye.
Mrs. Gott,
Aye.
Mrs. Honeychurch,
Aye.
Mr. Richardson,
Aye.
Mr. Silva,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. We'll move on to 14 information items. A, review and potential approval of the readoption of the FSUSD Governing Board Equity Statement. Do we have any public comment on this item?
We have no public comment.
Thank you. This is a statement we wrote last year, and each year we need to reaffirm our commitment to this statement. So I just wanted to say that both John Silva and David Isom participated on at the state level committee on equity. We were one of the few districts that were invited to work on this committee. And so at this point, we need this equity statement, I think, more than ever. Is there any comment from our board members on this statement? Would anyone like to make any changes? Can we
Yeah.
reaffirm this statement?
Hello, Judy.
Yes,
I'll make a statement.
thank you.
I'm not gonna so much talk to the statement itself. I'm just saying that, more than ever, especially with this distance learning, we really need these kind of programs are even more important than they have been in the past, where, when every student is in school, you can sort of neutralize the differences in equity between one student and another by just being at the same place at the same time. But when they're at their own homes or different locations, now the equity differences really become more obvious. And so we have to work harder than ever to make sure that those students that don't have as much opportunity are not left behind at all. Whereas in school, it's harder to happen, but at home, it can slip through the cracks very quickly and easily. So we have to make sure that all of our students that these kind of, things that we have in place are really looked at closely and kept up with, and that we make an extra attempt to make sure that all students are equitable during these times of COVID crisis, fires, whatever it happens to be, floods. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you, John. Any other comment from other board members? Okay, this is not a vote, so, oh, reaffirming. Okay, it was under information. So may I have a motion to reaffirm the equity statement from the board?
I'll motion that we reaffirm John Silva.
Okay, is
I'll
there a second?
I'll second Bethany.
Bethany, thank you.
Yeah.
Roll call, please.
Chantel Martino,
Aye.
Mrs. Scott,
Aye.
Mrs. Honeychurch,
Aye.
Mr. Richardson,
Aye.
Mr. Silva,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Thank you. Statement has been reaffirmed. Moving on to 19A, written report. It's a board member report on the California School Board Association Brown Act Training Workshop. No presentation. Any public comment?
No public comment.
Any board discussion? Okay. Moving on to 20, board subcommittee reports. A written report on the facility subcommittee meeting minutes from August 11th, 2020. There is no presentation. Any public comment on this item?
There's no public comment.
Okay. Any discussion? I would like to just reiterate that the committee is recommending that we postpone the opening of Sullivan School until the 22-23 school year. Just wanted to make sure everybody noticed that recommendation. Seeing no comments from board members, we will move to adjournment. We will be adjourning the meeting in memory of Nathan Garza, recent graduate of Early College High School. May I have a motion to adjourn?
A motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
John Silva, second.
Thank you. And all in favor, say aye.
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 Meeting adjourned.
All right, signing off.